Hello, dear lovely audience. Welcome back to another Bravo TV new recap. Everyone, I know you'll have been waiting for this. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Rosalk's Whitney Rose revealed the exciting career news after opening up about her failed business on the Season 6 premiere. Things are on the up and up for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's Whitney Rose's career after she found it within herself to turn a negative into a positive. Following her stunning Season 6 premiere revelation that a failed business venture left her and husband Justin Rose with nothing, the mom of two is shedding light on the endeavor. For the first time, Whitney admitted the failure was tied to her skincare brand, Wild Rose Beauty, something she did not say on the September 16th episode, and took to Instagram to reflect on the candid confession that continues to garner support from the Bravoverse and beyond. Said Whitney in a September 17th Instagram post, "As hard as it is to admit failure on such a public level, it was liberating to speak my truth. The truth that I couldn't see at that point in time is that I didn't fail. I was actually just being protected by the universe and redirected back to my life path." Whitney continued to thank her customers, brand ambassadors, and fans for their overwhelming support, adding, "I see you, I feel you, I appreciate you, and I love you." She then shared a press statement about what was next for Wild Rose Beauty. Whitney Rose is relaunching Wild Rose Beauty. As of September 17th, Whitney has officially reclaimed full ownership of Wild Rose Beauty, according to the company's same-day press release, which Whitney featured in her Instagram post. "This relaunch is deeply personal to me. It's about reconnecting with what I originally set out to create, a beauty brand that empowers, uplifts, and celebrates authenticity," Whitney said in a statement. Wild Rose Beauty has always been about more than skincare. It's about creating routines that help people feel beautiful inside and out. The direct-to-consumer brand, as announced, is no longer affiliated with former partners and outside partnership groups, ushering in a new era of independence, authenticity, and innovation. The rebrand will reportedly introduce customers to new products with a stronger commitment to clean and cruelty-free products, while also staying true to fan favorites of the past. Related, a SWAT team once again confronts the RHOSLC cast on Season 6 premiere, under arrest. It will be the line's second rebrand since Wild Rose Beauty changed on Season 2 from Iris plus Beau, which predated Rosalk's 2020 series premiere. The RHOSLC cast and Bravolebs react to Whitney Rose's business news. Andy Cohen and Angie Katzenevas agreed on the September 16th episode of Watch What Happens Live that Whitney's confession about her business failure was brave and honest. Related, new RHOSLC Season 6 trailer teases crazy accusations and drama. The witch hunt begins. Meanwhile, Whitney's latest career news garnered praise from Bronwyn Newport, who called her vulnerable and real, adding, "It's such an inspiration for others trying to find their path and facing struggles. So happy to see it all coming together." Brittany Bateman, who unwittingly drew the confession from Whitney on the premiere, wished the entrepreneur congratulations. Chanel Ayan of the Real Housewives of Dubai also entered the chat to say, "Yes, Queen, keep going, proud of you." Details on Whitney Rose's business failure. As seen on the RHOSLC Season 6 premiere, Whitney bravely told the other housewives over a campfire that she had to lay off 30 employees, in addition to referencing millions in losses and thousands of customers. All in all, she said the business flat-out tanked. What are Whitney Rose's other businesses? Aside from Wild Rose Beauty, Whitney co-founded the jewelry line, Prism, and hosted the Wild Rose podcast from 2022 to 2024. See what else happened on the Housewives RV trip on the season premiere. Whitney Rose shares a huge update on Wild Rose Beauty after business failure. "I want to talk about something real today. I want to talk about what it's like to chase a dream, pour your heart into something that becomes the reflection of everything you believe in, and then watch it crumble. To admit failure. And finally, to find your footing again. Because that's exactly what's happened with Wild Rose Beauty." Prologue. Planting the seed. It didn't start as Wild Rose Beauty. It started earlier as Iris plus Beau. A simpler name, a smaller vision. But even then, every ingredient, every fragrance, every jar and bottle represented more than skincare. It represented possibility. It represented something I could build, something I could control, something that let me bring light to other women who felt what I felt, insecure, hoping for healing, wanting to glow from inside out. I wasn't naive. I knew risk. I knew sacrifice. I knew that building a brand means late nights, financial juggling, constant self-doubt. But dreams don't whisper, stop. They keep pushing. They demand risk. Rebranding to Wild Rose Beauty was my first major leap. Iris plus Bow had its limits, both in people's minds and in mine. I wanted something wilder, freer, more expansive, a brand without bounds. The Wild Rose, after all, doesn't know containment. Early successes and the pressure cooker. For a moment, it felt like we were hitting stride. The glow-ups, both literal and figurative, were real. Customers loved certain formulations. Feedback was good. The community around it was growing. On RHOSLC, I opened up about using our savings, taking out a line of credit, even mortgaging some emotional stability. Yes, we invested heavily, financially and personally. I said it then, and I'll say it again. I believed in it so much that everything else felt secondary. But growth, especially rapid growth, is a pressure cooker. Operations get complicated. Every bottle, every order, every shipping delay or inventory issue is a test. Marketing demands become louder. The cost of ingredients, packaging, staff, all these things escalate. Expectations of others and expectations I placed on myself, those were heavy. Cracks appear. By late 2024, signs that things weren't going well couldn't be ignored. Sold out everywhere. Every time someone tried to buy something, the site said sold out. Inventory non-existent. Social media silence. The Instagram hadn't posted in months. The Facebook page deactivated. Transition whispers. The name Soul People began appearing in association with Wild Rose products. Some of the Wild Rose items were being sold via Soul People, still in original packaging. Rumors swirled. Did the brand collapse? Was I stepping away? Was it over? Owning it. The admission of failure. Then came the most painful episode, admitting out loud what I had tried to avoid. On the Season 6 premiere of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I admitted, I have a business that failed. That's it. I talked about the loss. Millions, not just in dollars but in trust, reputation, personal peace. I said that I'd had to fire 30 employees. I said me and Justin went all in. And I said we ended up with nothing. Not to dramatize, but because that was the truth. I felt like I let people down, employees, customers, family. I felt the weight. But admitting failure is the first step forward. Because once you know you've failed, you can stop pretending, stop gaslighting yourself, stop spreading rumors, and begin reckoning. The rumors and misinfo. What's true, what's not. It was messy. There was a lot of smoke, so people assumed fire everywhere. Here's what I'll clarify. Wild Rose is not done forever. That statement came from me. I said it, Wild Rose Beauty is not done, that it will be for sale again soon. I am no longer part of Soul People. Despite some confusion, I had to distance myself from Soul People because our visions diverged and there were things I could not align with. The losses. Yes, we lost substantial money. It was into 6 figures, possibly more. I invested our savings. We took out lines of credit. We borrowed. Some data points report $300,000 invested, $1 million line of credit. What was not true, that I was rebranding to a third company without reflecting. I want transparency. I want people to see what's real, so there's no more miscommunication. The fall and what it cost. When you build something, you invest everything. I invested. Emotionally, every hope, every fear, every sleepless night. Financially, savings, credit, loans. Assets I thought were stable. Relationally, my marriage with Justin, my team, my employees. Reputationally, people's trust, public perception, brand loyalty. Here are some of the costs. Employees lost work. Letting 30 people go was one of the worst feelings imaginable. They trusted us. They had hopes. I felt responsible. Financial death spiral. The pressure to restock, produce, ship, market. When sales slow, those costs become crushing. You still have rent, payroll, raw materials. If product isn't moving, inventory costs stack. The lifeline, loans, credit becomes expensive, even dangerous. Every day it snowballs. I found myself fighting fires I didn't know how to douse. Mental health, self-doubt, shame, worry about letting people down, customers, employees, my kids, my partner. Panic about tomorrow. Knowing dreams can fail. That is a wild kind of grief. It's a betrayal of hope. Public scrutiny. This is the tricky part when you're on the show. Your life is part business, part spectacle. Rumors, social media takes, Reddit threads, everything gets broadcast, speculated. Everything magnified. Getting criticisms, hearing suggestions, having people assume they know. The turning point. Choosing to rebuild, not collapse. But here's what I realized. Failure is not final unless you decide it is. And I don't. I might be down, but I refuse to let it define me. Here's what I decided. Reclaim ownership of my brand identity. I've started pulling back toward the original vision of Wild Rose Beauty, what inspired me in the first place. Clean, effective skincare, authenticity in marketing, respect for the customer's trust. Be transparent with customers. If something is sold out, say why. If there's a delay, communicate. No more radio silence. I know the cost of silence now. Learn from the mistakes. Operational mismanagement, cash flow miscalculations, scaling too fast, pricing versus margin issues, overpromising versus underdelivering. These are lessons. Reduce the overhead, less inventory upfront, smaller batches, better cash flow modeling, pulling back on the glitz that doesn't move product, focusing on core hero formulas rather than wide assortments. Regroup with partners who align with my values. If I work with people, I want ones who want truth, who want sustainable growth, who see the long game. What a relaunch might look like. I can't spoil everything just yet, but here's the sketch of what Wild Rose Beauty version 2.0 may look like. And yes, I'm excited again. Hero products first. Bring back products that people love, the serums, oils, creams that got great reviews. I'll start with the things we know work, with proven demand. Clean and authentic formulas. Recommit to non-toxic, dermatologically sound ingredients. No overhype. No miracle promises beyond what science supports. Sustainability in packaging and supply. Less waste, smarter packaging, sourcing that respects the earth. Direct customer relationship. More listening. More feedback loops. More transparency about process, costs, expected turn times. Possibly even customer participation in decisions, polls, small batch launches. Lean team, smart ops, a smaller core team with clear roles, less expensive fixable mistakes, possibly even fulfillment outsourced or shared to reduce overhead. Marketing with integrity. No more hype for hype's sake. No ghost rumors. Genuine storytelling. Being vulnerable about the past. Allowing people to see the person behind the brand. Gradual scaling. If product demand is strong, build incrementally. Do not burn cash. Let customer demand guide us. Let reinvestment be cautious. Financial guardrails. No more draining savings. Limits on how much credit we take. Better cash flow projections. Perhaps even bringing in a financial advisor or CFO early, rather than too late. Lessons learned. Business and life. From this journey, I want to share what I've learned. Not because I think I have answers, but because maybe someone else out there sitting on a dream might save themselves some of the bruises. Dreams cost money, and more than you think. Passion is not enough. You need realistic projections, safety nets, a runway. It's easy to think you'll figure it out, but you must prepare for the not-so-sunny days. Scaling too fast is a silent killer. When you try to grow before all operations are solid, mistakes multiply. Inventory errors, shipping delays, customer dissatisfaction. It all feeds back and can unravel brand trust. Authenticity beats flash in the long run. People can feel when something's real. If you're transparent about imperfections, you build trust. Hiding or PR spinning problems tends to backfire. Financial management is queen. Margins matter. Cost per use, shipping, packaging, returns, so many costs hide under the surface until they drown you. Always run revenue minus all costs. Then subtract overhead. Never assume everyone else has your best interest at heart. Don't view failure as shame. View it as data. Every misstep taught something. These are the maps for what to avoid, rebuild, do better. If we had done this differently, maybe we wouldn't have been so exposed. But now I know. Community matters. My team, my customers, my family, many of them stuck with me. Some didn't, which was painful, but many did. Their feedback, support, encouragement are real fuel in darkest moments. You are more than your brand. Who I am is not what I sell. My worth does not depend on my income. I have to remember that when things collapse, I still have love, relationships, hope, resilience. Business is a vehicle, not the sum of me. The update. Where we are now. So, where is Wild Rose Beauty right now? Brand ownership reclaimed. I've taken steps toward reclaiming control. I'm working to ensure that whatever future form Wild Rose Beauty has, it's fully under my leadership again. No misaligned partners. Products are being retooled. Some of the formulas people loved are being redeveloped to be cleaner, more sustainable. Packaging is being reimagined so that costs are lower but quality remains high. Revisiting inventory strategy. Instead of creating broad lines and hoping every product sells, we'll roll out small batches of hero items first, gauge demand, then expand. Dialogue with customers resumed. I've started listening more, answering DMs, being candid on what's going on behind the scenes. Social media might be slower, but it'll be real. No more association with Soul People. As of now, I clarified that I am no longer part of Soul People. It's important to me that people understand what my role is and what it isn't. I want transparency. Vision for relaunch. Not just to relaunch a product line, but to relaunch trust. To show that setbacks don't define you unless you let them. I'm planning a staggered relaunch. Hero products, limited editions, transparent pricing, story sharing. What may happen and what it might take. I won't pretend everything is easy. Rebuilding takes time, courage, grit. Here's what I see on the horizon. Both the promise and the risk. The promise. People who loved some of Wild Rose's earlier work are still out there. If I deliver what felt good earlier and improve on what felt off, there's a base to rebuild from. There's a hunger for authenticity. In an age of perfect feeds and overhyped launches, people want brands that are human, transparent. Sharing failure can build empathy. Learning hard lessons can make me better at business next time. If I rebuild wisely, with guardrails, I can avoid traps I fell into. New opportunities, clean beauty, sustainability, thoughtful packaging, these are growing categories. If done right, there might be space for Wild Rose to return with strong differentiation. The risks. Skepticism and distrust. Some people will be wary. Why believe this isn't just spin? Why engage again after everything went silent? Capital scarcity. Money is harder to find after a failure. Investors, partners, many will be cautious. Burnout. Emotional, physical exhaustion is real. I need to make sure I protect my energy, mental health. Overpromising. I've learned that making big promises with shaky foundations is dangerous. So I must underpromise, overdeliver. Competition and market noise. The skincare world is saturated. Even with uniqueness, breaking through is hard. A letter to my customers, team, and myself. To my customers, I know I haven't always shown up the way you deserved. Sometimes you saw silence, or inconsistency, or sold out everywhere. I understand disappointment. My goal now is not just to return with products, but to rebuild your trust. I hope you'll give me another chance. If you do, I don't take that lightly. To my former team members, I wish I'd done things differently. I'm grateful for you. For your time, your work, your belief. The mistakes are mine. I hope you've moved on to good things. I carry the lessons with me so that when I build again, I build better, for you, for others, for the people I'll work with next. To my family, thank you for holding me, for believing, for forgiving, for being the mirror when I refused to look. I lost more than money. I lost sleep. I lost peace. But I also recognized what truly matters. To myself, this is not the end. This is a page in the story. The wound hurts. The failure stings. But I am still the kind of person who creates, who rebuilds, who believes in growth. It's okay to feel, to mourn. It's okay to admit I was wrong, to change what needs changing. Good business, for me now, isn't about being the biggest. It's about being honorable, sustainable, honest. Epilogue. What success looks like now. If I succeed, what will that look like? A lean, meaningful product line that customers love and trust. A brand that can tell its story without having to make excuses. Partners and collaborators who are aligned, who respect not just what's profitable, but what's ethical. Business that sustains my family but also gives me space to be present, to care, to rest. Reflection. Moments where I see someone glowing because of a serum I made. Or someone saying, I believe in this brand because I believe in you. And even if that's never fully realized, even if the relaunch fails or flops, I'll know I tried. I'll know I owned what I did, failed with humility, and kept moving.